If you are a foodie that is a content creator looking to grow online, you are in the exact place that you need to be. Today, I'm sitting down with one of the most passionate geniuses when it comes to standing in front of a grill and bringing food to life to not just the people that are at the table, but the people that are online as well, with none other than Michigan BBQ Addicts. He has grown his channel to collect 90 million views on TikTok alone. It's insane. People love food and people love this content. And if you are a content creator that is looking to create food-based content to serve a market and a community that is passionate about food, this is the episode that you need to tune into. That being said, I have Walter from Michigan BBQ Addicts.
Thanks for having me.
What up, man? This is insane. So we've been here, we rolled up, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10 grills?
Just in the driveway, yeah.
10. So you have 10 grills just in the driveway. And honestly, being here and seeing you completely enveloped into your passion, it wasn't even so much about that you were creating the food to create content, but you were creating a food that you knew that you just loved, right? And you can tell that when you're giving the information about it, you're like, this is cut like this, the reason why we do it at this temperature, and you're just taking me through step by step, and you could see that you're just straight passionate about the food that you produce. And it's not so much about the content, but it's just about the craft. And so that being said, Walter, I want to go into a little bit here of where Michigan BBQ Addicts started. And well, first off, can we try some of this first?
Oh, absolutely.
What do we got here?
So what we have here, we have some pulled pork. We have it seasoned with some Killer Hogs rib rub, and we also threw in some of the apple rub from Heath Rouse Barbecue. And then we also have some choice cut USDA brisket. Smoked that for about 13 hours, and it's just mouth-watering delicious. But yeah, please, by all means, dig in.
How do I dive into this? What's the move? You got to show me the ways.
Yep, absolutely. So I sliced up some of our flat right here, which is the flatter portion of our brisket, whereas you got the point, which is the fattier part. So I just go right in there.
Okay. Show me.
You're going to get a little bit of the lean and a little bit of the fatty.
Lean?
So the lean of the beef, it's just not as much fat content, but you got that nice little fat cap right on top.
Okay.
And then, of course, as Good Mythical Morning would say, dink it.
Dink it.
And sink it.
And sink it. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. It's like a meat cake. It's like a meat cake. On the top of it, you got the frosting, and then underneath it, it's just like the bulk. Let me get some more.
Oh, please, by all means.
I'm going crazy on this thing.
Absolutely. And then we got that nice, got that nice bark on there. That's holding in all the flavor, and just the inside is just all that rich, beefy flavor. I mean, it's enough to make your doctor mad.
When you say bark, do you mean like the outside, like that crispy?
Yeah.
Part
So
of it?
the big part about with barbecue is the flavor comes from not only the seasonings, but the cooking process. The seasonings adhering to the beef also hit with that smoke. It creates what the barbecue community we call bark. And it's not as much like, it looks like almost like tree bark, but it's melt in your mouth. Melt in your mouth delicious.
What's the difference between this and the point?
So the flat is going to be a little leaner. You cut that into slices, whereas the point, let me rephrase that. The flat you can cut into like burn ends, whereas the point, you're going to get nice, like fattier, melt in your mouth, pull apart slices. And it's all about the grain of meat that you have there.
Okay, so how do you go into the point?
So how I go into the point is...
Show me the moves.
All right, so I just hit it with the fork.
Okay, hit it with the fork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll get you a slice here.
Okay, what do we got? What is that?
Got the caveman style cleaver knife. And what this is, one of our sponsors, Caveman Style, they've given us a good amount of knives to be able to do this beautiful barbecue. And not only
Can I hold this thing?
Absolutely, by all means.
Oh my gosh. Look at this thing. This is crazy.
Oh yeah.
This is, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of, have you ever seen those videos in like Iceland?
Yes.
Where they're like by a river or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They just have like a wooden block. This is like what I would use
Oh yeah.
to like prepare my meat
throw the onion in the air, catch it with it.
Can I cut it? How do I cut it with this?
Absolutely. So you just stick the fork right into the point, point itself, and then just sink it down.
Sink it down.
There you
Is
go.
that a good slice?
That's a great slice.
Dink it, and then sink it?
Absolutely. Let me get some of that.
Get in there.
Right there. Dink it.
Dink it. Does
Sink
it need
it.
to dink?
You almost don't even need your teeth for that.
Oh my gosh. My grandma could eat this.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful.
How would you rate this?
On the brisket that I've made before in the past,
Yeah.
easily I would call this one about a 9.1.
A 9.1?
Yeah, 9.1 out of 10.
So how, what takes it to a 10 though?
Oh,
Because I feel like I would have just said 10.
oh,
Yeah.
well, I appreciate that. The best cut of meat I've honestly had, it's from Snake River Farms, and they have a black grade Wagyu brisket. And literally it melted in your mouth. Point flat, all that.
Have you ever made Wagyu?
Oh, yeah. It's insanely good. Like, the first time I had it, look, I got no shame in my game. I did shed a tear when I first tried it.
Really?
It's delicious.
How much more difficult is it to barbecue Wagyu than it is to, like, pan-sear it?
So, pan-searing Wagyu, I did that with, like, a filet. We got some, they're called gold-grade Wagyu fillets. I treat it just like a normal steak. I think the worst part about it, honestly, it is the pressure of screwing it up.
Is it because it's A5?
This one was an A5. It was like A5 those grades are like for Japanese Wagyu, whereas American they go by coloration. So you got your gold grade, you got your black grade. There's a couple other different grades they base off of color versus the actual physical rating. But we end up getting a black grade Wagyu brisket, and I'm telling you, it made you want to cry.
What do you think that have you had the Japanese Wagyu versus American?
It's on my bucket list.
You haven't had it yet?
I've never had it yet, but I see it all the time online, and we can go to Costco and they have like the steaks, but I mean, to pull the trigger on something like that, it's like, did we have a good month on TikTok or?
Yeah. Can we afford the Japanese Wagyu?
Yeah. So.
That's sick. That's so awesome. When do you? So okay, we just did the brisket. What do we have here now?
So what we have here is some pulled pork. This is just a pork shoulder. You take the bone out. We end up accidentally buying a boneless one. And accidentally, yeah. So a lot of times I will screw up and I just see it. I'm like, cool, that's a pork butt. And then you go to look at it, I'm like, where's the bone? Then you're looking at the wrapper and you're like, it's boneless.
Mm-hmm.
So
is bone better?
Bone's better simply because I like cooking on it because it's way more satisfying. It's just the satisfaction when you pull the bone out and it's absolutely clean.
Just aesthetic.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so like when I was pulling this one today, I'm like, is this one going to pull apart? And sure enough, it did. So
show me the way.
Absolutely.
We got clink it and tink it.
Oh, we can dink it, sink it, clink it, tink it, whatever you got to do.
Clink it.
And now you can do this. I don't usually put barbecue sauce on it.
I'm going to get a fat one here.
There you go. I don't usually put barbecue sauce on. Usually the seasoning alone is perfect enough. But
like it.
We'll try it both ways.
I like that. We're going to start doing that at the house. Clink it and tink it. Wow. There's such substantially different flavors. Like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like all meats are not created equal.
Now, take it a step further.
What do you got? What's this? Yeah.
This is Killer Hogs, the barbecue sauce. Killer Hogs is one of our sponsors, and they designed a really good barbecue sauce. We end up getting the barbecue sauce. They also have the vinegar rub, and they also have a zero sugar one for people that, if you're diabetic and you want that taste of barbecue, it's a savory version of barbecue sauce.
I need that one.
Absolutely.
Zero sugar one, but I need this one too.
So what we'll do, we will put a little bit on part of it. Get a little drizzly doodle there.
Oh my gosh. What Did you prep this with that sauce?
Not at all.
So this sauce hasn't even touched this yet.
It has not touched it whatsoever.
So what? Wait, can you show me before we get
Absolutely.
into this? What has touched it? Because
So-
we got a ton of different seasonings here.
We ended up getting the first we used a binder. So with any meat, you put a binder on. Ultimately, what that does is help adhere the seasoning because you're putting so much of it on. It's a big cut of meat, and it's got to be able to hold a lot of seasoning. So I usually like to go for 2 different seasonings because I can tell you, yeah, one seasoning's good, but it's like the ratatouille effect. You mix 2 different flavors and combine it with something, you could create something incredible, right?
Wow.
And my surefire way is I usually use a sweeter base rub, and then I touch it with Heath Riles apple. So today we actually use the Killer Hogs rib rub. They actually just released this one. You can actually get it at Walmart in the garden section. I tried getting it online. You can't.
You can't get this online?
You can't get this one online. This is a Walmart exclusive, but it's
Wait,
really
so you
good.
have to show up into the store to get this?
Yep. And
Wow.
it's really good.
Is that open nationwide?
It is open nationwide, I believe. Yeah. I found it my local one. So check out your local Walmart. They have it in the garden section. And then we hit it with a Heath Riles apple rub. We are sponsored by Killer Hogs, but I do love trying other seasonings and mixing them together. We have the apple rub. It smells so strong like apples, but you don't get a lot of that sweetness. Like you tried. You didn't taste a lot of sweetness off of that. It focuses on the savory notes, but hits the nose just the right way with the right smells. So we end up using these 2 rubs on it, adding it with the barbecue rub. With the rib rub.
Is that was what was on
Yep.
The pork,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, we end up using a blue plate mayo as a binder. And so that mayo itself it's going to add a richness to it. Of course, it's an additional fat to help break that down. So right in here, you'll get a good little bit with that sauce.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's ooey gooey.
Okay.
There we go. Almost like meat spaghetti.
This is amazing. This is phenomenal.
And
You serious? Emily, look at this. This is crazy. That's amazing.
dink it.
Oh my God. Think it.
And
Oh, I'm thinking it. Oh my God. Oh man.
honestly, that's the best pork butt I've ever made.
Wow.
Easily.
What's this on the ratings? This sauce is crazy. What is the sauce called?
This is the barbecue sauce.
This is the same one as the Killer Hogs.
Yep.
The dry rub.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can get that one online. You can get that in store. It's Walmart. I usually go in Michigan. We use a place called Michigan Barbecue Supply out of Brandon Township.
Okay.
Or Ortonville, I'm sorry.
Orton.
And he's actually, the owner of it is the brother of famous barbecue guy, Bob Trunak. He goes out with like Mo Case and all that. You can get the sauces there. The sauce itself is so good. And I wish I had some vinegar sauce with it. It's even better.
So is this one not in stores either?
You can get it in stores.
No, only in stores. It's not online.
You can get this the barbecue sauce online and in stores.
Got to try more of this. I got to try more
Yeah,
of
please, by all means, dig in.
This is crazy. When did you start doing all this stuff?
So I learned how to barbecue. I went through a
I'm sorry, I'm going heavy
no,
here.
go for it, man. Go for it. I'd be offended if you didn't. No,
You're too good.
no. When growing up, my folks got divorced, and I used to grow up barbecuing with my dad, and he had this little Weber grill, right? And he would sit there and he'd barbecue. I mean, he'd do his best, you know. I mean, we had my sisters and my brothers, and then my mom. And I remember watching him. He just did his best, but I always saw how happy he was behind the grill, right? Whether he was burning dinner or he was making a good dinner, you know. And he made it work. Mom wanted steak. We wanted bratwursts and burgers and stuff like that. After the divorce, we ended up, it was hard. We didn't get to barbecue a lot. And the Weber kettle stayed in our driveway. And I'm like, I want to figure out how to do this. And I worked as a firefighter for many years. And I ended up going to a barbecue joint with one of my buddies. And he's like, hey, you got to try this. I'd never had brisket before, right? That was 2014. 14? Yeah, 2014. Okay. It takes me there. I had brisket. I'm like, oh, my God. what magic am I trying? Because I'm used to my mom's pot roast and stuff like that. I'm like, this isn't the same. So we end up trying it. I'm like, I got to recreate this. I bought my first smoker in 2017. I made smoked sausage, completely ruined it, I thought. And I'm trying to impress my now wife because I was like, I can cook, I can do this, and let's see if we can get this right. And I felt like they were like, I was eating twigs because it was so smoky. And you only smoke them for like maybe 2 hours.
That's exactly
I smoked this for 8.
That's exactly how mine would probably turn out if I tried to go for that.
I'm telling you, the sausage is about that thick. The smoke ring was like that. I mean,
wow.
It was bad, but I mean, she enjoyed it. And then I bought my first grill when we first moved here. I always wanted to get one. It was a char grill, or it was what we now call Old Reliable. She's probably going to get retired this year. But we ended up doing this. So we started online in 2020. And I kept saying to myself, you know what? I want to get into TikTok. And then I finally posted my first video. It was July 2021. And it was a breakfast burger. And it got some good views. I got like 7,000 views. And I'm like, that's incredible. I can't believe I did that. And then a couple more videos later, we posted a pork belly burn end video. And it got 500,000 views. I'm over the moon. And we started building partnerships from there. And it was a very pivotal experience, honestly.
What did that first video look like when you were, well, number one, there's a lot to unpack here. So from 2014 to 2021, technically, you were just honing in on your craft of like the barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just how often per week would you go and eat barbecue?
Well, we tried to because barbecue can be expensive. We end up going, at least I tried finding a place like every week and a half to 3 weeks or something like that. And it wouldn't be like too much. It would be like, I wouldn't get like a whole platter or something like that. I'd be like, I want to try smoked sausage, or I want to try pulled pork. I want to try this. I want to try that. And in my mom's house, you only can deal with crock pot meals for so long. So
yeah.
And we would go pretty frequently. When I got my own car, I was like, okay, we're going to drive out here. We're going to try a drive out here. And you find some really cool places out in Michigan. I mean, I know Michigan's not really known for their barbecue, but you find some really, really wholesome people out there.
Right on. So you get this. So now you decide to post your first video online, got 7,000 views. How long before after that you post the burn end one?
It was a couple weeks later, and I ended up posting it was pork belly burn ends, and it was my first time trying it. And it's a funny story. I actually, our sponsor Killer Hogs is, I watched the recipe video that Malcolm Reed posted. I'm like, I want to try this, and you know what? I'm gonna film it. I'm gonna put my whole heart and soul into this, see what I can do, and it just started growing, and it was so bizarre. I mean.
So, okay, so you post this burn end video. What was the what were some of the engagement that you got out of the 500,000 views from that? Like what were they saying about it?
I mean, honestly, it was when we started the channel, we were trying to create judgment-free barbecue. I posted on a big page, and I got the crap roasted out of me. You did this wrong. You did this wrong. Why are you doing like this? You don't deserve to be. I mean, people were mean online. And when I started posting on TikTok, the comments I was getting some really good comments, right? And I wanted to create that environment so that any person, any average Joe or average Jane that wanted to learn how to cook for their family can come to my page completely judgment-free. And we were getting a lot of good feedback from that. Like when I posted that burn end video, we had people were saying, Walt, you're great. You're doing something awesome. Like I have people that send me messages even to this day. They're like, my dad hasn't been in my life, and it's watching your videos brings me solace. And of course, yeah. It's one of those things. It's like people, you see what people are really, really looking for. And I didn't realize these videos that we do help people get through so much. And it's really humbling, honestly.
Give me the idea of, okay, so now people are what's the next move for you? You post these burn end videos, you create the judgment free, was it judgment free barbecue zone?
Yep, Judgment Free Barbecue.
Okay. I don't know why, because I felt like I stepped into the judgment free barbecue zone when I rolled up in here. Just you're just like in your element. I think it speaks volumes the way that you approach people too, because we'd only met online that one time, and then now we're sitting down, we're eating. Like you prepared this brisket and this pulled pork, so I think that says a lot about just how you treat people in general, which Absolutely. I think is phenomenal, which I think is what people need more of to build communities and to create a trickle effect.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
So it definitely shows through in your food a lot, which is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. So, okay, you're creating this judgment-free zone. What kind of opportunities came out of Michigan Barbecue Addicts as a result that now that people they're seeing your barbecue, they're commenting, they're connecting with you? What kind of opportunities came out of that?
We got a lot of opportunities. I mean, out of the woodwork, we had a lot of people just reaching out and saying, hey, I like what you're doing. I want to do something with you. One of the biggest things that I found that really helped me, especially as a new content creator, was whatever I'm using. And if they have a handle on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, whatever, tag them, right? Sometimes you get people that are like, I'm not going to reply back. But sometimes you get the big names will reach back out and they're like, wow, this is awesome. Hit me up with a message. I got to get you something, It certainly happened with Char Griller. I mean, Char Griller was our first sponsor that we had, and I started tagging them with everything. And it was a name that I saw a lot when I was at Home Depot. And I'm like, I want a barrel smoker. That looks super cool, right? Little did I know it's one of the most challenging things to work with is a barrel smoker. And you tag people and they want to work with you. If they like your content and see your passion, go for it, And I try to keep that inclusive environment that anybody that could come up to a driveway and approach one of my grills, and if they're having a hard time, I will pull up a chair, we'll crack open something cold, and we'll talk, I never want anybody in this world full of hate. I don't want people to feel like they have no place to go to, and that's kind of what I'm trying to approach with Judgment Free Barbecue and Michigan Barbecue Addicts.
What was so now you're tagging all these. We have Char Grill here. Actually all these grills are Char Grill, right?
Every single one.
So what did that relationship look like when you initially started tagging them and reaching out and connecting with brands like that? What was the first one that gave you a shot, gave you an opportunity?
Oh, it was absolutely Char Griller. With the partnerships, they do provide to make sure that their content creators and brand ambassadors are well taken care of, and it's not as much like you're not getting like a specific contract. It's like, hey, with a lot of different brands that you find out there, you'll find that, hey, I'll give you this, but I'm looking for this out of it. With Char Griller, I had to provide content utilizing that, right? And if I didn't maintain that, then the partnership would end, right? And it's so important to be a good partner, right? It's a two-way street. Just because they give you something doesn't mean it's over, they're putting the time and money into you to not only promote their brand, but to make sure that you're successful. And they were very good about helping us be successful. I started with a Blackstone. And they tagged me a couple times and some stuff, but Char Griller really pushed through and was like, hey, we believe in what your message is, and we believe that you make entertaining content and good barbecue. I want to be a part of that, And I don't think of it as like, hey, we're sponsored, which is cool to say, hey, I'm sponsored by them, but they are definitely, I call them friends of the barbecue. They're definitely a friend at our barbecue.
Oh, nice. Do you ever barbecue with any of the ambassadors for Char Griller?
I've talked to the couple of them. I know we're in the process of doing something with other ambassadors of other programs too.
Okay.
We're doing something in probably it's the end of May, early June with the Killer Hogs ambassadors. So we're going down to Mississippi. So with Killer Hogs Barbecue, we're gonna
guys, right?
Yep. And then we're gonna be going down there and and working with other ambassadors and the How to Barbecue Right team, and really enjoying some good barbecue, good times, and good people. But yeah, we definitely try to work together. It's weird with content creation and other creators out there. We all try our best to work together, because you got following from, say, this program, and then you got my following, and people will say, like, this is a collaboration I didn't know I needed. And
Oh, really?
it worked like that with my buddy Calphobia 86. He's big. He's the ranch guy of TikTok. He's the king of ranch is what they call him. And we ended up doing a couple videos together. He came over to our house on his birthday even, and we made some good content, and we're friends to this day. You know, we work together to these content creators that are out there. We all work together to try to help not only boost ourselves, but develop good relationships.
What do you think is like the most like surefire way for a creator to break in and to meet people online? Like, what is a good strategy that you found out that creators can use, you know, because this can be like a lonely island sometimes.
Oh yeah.
It's you and obviously your online like community, but I think a lot of creators can benefit from looking, whether it's vertical or lateral, to other influencers within the space that they're in. How did you do that?
Honestly, it's the best way I say it is it's not just posting a video. You also got to comment on other people's stuff and engage with them. Because a lot of times, I mean, with that, if you're just posting stuff, you're just putting it in, it's like putting it into the ocean and hoping something bites, right? Yeah. Sometimes you're not going to get a bite. You need to start, it's not just posting, it's doing the work, commenting on other videos and making your comment stand out, right? I reached out to there's one person I reached out to, James Campbell from Dave and Chuck the Freak.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
we got to, he was my first collaboration I did back in 2021. And it was a fun barbecue, right? Now that, I mean, he's not with Dave and Chuck anymore. He's doing bigger things now. But he was just getting started on TikTok, and something I wanted to do. I was like, James, I'm a big fan. I saw you just started on TikTok. Like, I think we could easily help each other grow on this platform. And I just posted my pork belly burn end video too, so I was feeling a little cocky here. And we could do this. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, I think we could easily generate at least 1,000 followers each with your following and mine. We could do something. And he's like, yeah, that sounds great. And we got him out here. He was working off. We had two girls going. It was Old Reliable and my Grand Champ, and he was going through and he's watching the videos and he's just talking with us. And so that strategy of, you know, let's see what we can do to scratch each other's back ultimately helps, you know?
Okay.
I got really lucky with Calphobia 86 simply because, I mean, he was on the live feed and I told him, and usually people jump on the live feed to, of course, they're going to either be trolls or they're going to be like, hey, I love you, I'm happy to do this. And I saw him, I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot. Why not?
Nice.
I said, hey, if you like barbecue, I know you're in Michigan, we should definitely look into a collaboration. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. And then I messaged him on Instagram. And of course I'm thinking, I don't think anything's going to happen out of this. Yeah. He messages me back and I'm sitting, it's funny. Usually it's my wife and I laying in bed. And I find that a lot of these big names that reach out to us is usually when my wife and I are laying in bed, she's just about to fall asleep or has already fallen asleep. And it's like, you know, scrolling. You're like, babe. And she's like, what? And it's like, he just messaged me.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I do that to Emily all the time. She hates it so much. She'd be like, come on, I'm trying to sleep. Like, zero cares in the world as to what's happening. And I'm like, they finally messaged back. The deal's good. We're good to go. And she just, yo, that's so funny. So let's talk about Calphobia.
Oh yeah.
What did that, actually, let's talk about what a couple of these collaborations look like.
So the collaboration, I'll start with the one with James Campbell. Yeah. The one with James Campbell, it was he was doing all this Taco Bell content. I was like, we should figure something out and like maybe like a barbecue taco or something like that. And he's like, that sounds like something that'd be interesting. And then we settled on barbecue nachos and smoked queso.
Okay.
And So we made pulled pork, we made brisket. Usually when we do collaborations, that's one of my favorite things to do. I always make a brisket. I always make pulled pork, because they're two really good things. And
it's a staple. It's a very good staple for a community.
it's a barbecue staple, and it works. And what was funny with James, he is, and I'll tell you, he was just as raunchy on in person as he was on the show. And he jumped in and he's pulling pork, and he goes like, he's like, "You want to feed me brisket?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so I put brisket in his mouth while he's pulling pork, and he's like, "This is the best brisket I've ever had." And he's like, "And it means that much more to me because you put your meat in my mouth." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
And you guys are both live at this? Are you guys both doing live?
Oh my gosh.
While this is happening?
All this is happening, and
Oh
then
my gosh, you can't even hide it. You can't even like say, "Oh, cut the edit. We'll just,
right. And I told him at the beginning, I was like, "Hey, I just got the sponsor. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I try to keep it PG-13." He's like, "Oh yeah, I can figure that out." And he was right on the cusp of PG-13. It was hilarious. But we tried to shoot a couple videos. So we did like it was like 3 or 4 videos with James Campbell, and then we did 2 promos with him. So It was like him jumping in, and he's like, the funny one that I loved was he's like, "What's the best part about?" I can't remember how he worded it. He's like, "What's something you can do after a good long day of pulling somebody else's pork?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, barbecue nachos." I'm like,
Oh my God.
"Man, you are like," he's like the Robin Williams of radio. It is.
Dude, don't get me started on Robin Williams, bro. I'll start crying. I love Robin Williams.
Oh, man.
Don't get me started on Robin Williams, man.
Oh man, he was good.
I spent the first 10 years of my life creating content for other people. Right?
Okay.
So I'm like always behind the camera, and I was like, I have so much information that I would have benefited from.
Absolutely.
And so I'm like, let me just like package this up. Let me talk to good people. Let me talk to people that have, their stuff together. Let me talk to people that enjoy what they're doing. Let me talk to people that have their 10,000 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just like help creators and help people expedite that, because
Absolutely.
there were points in my life where I was sleeping on couches,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really trying to figure out how to make this content creation thing work, and I would have really benefited from somebody that, podcasts weren't really big at the time. Like, we're in a podcast era,
Yeah.
so I would have loved that, and so now I'm building platform. The whole goal is just to create community, create online resource, and continue to build it. Eventually, the next phase is going to be doing like workshops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To where it's like, okay, I have the network, put the network online with resource, and then have like location-based like workshops that creatives can come to.
Oh yeah.
And they can get direct access to where they're helping, they're receiving help from, someone like you, because someone like you right now is in the exact same position that you were to when you went to post that first video and everyone's shitting on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they need to hear that next phase is post the second video.
Yep. Absolutely. Right. And you got to keep going with it. There were so many times when I started posting videos online and posting pictures, like I posted on this is the one that really, really started Michigan Barbecue Addicts. Was I posted I won't say which barbecue page it was, but I was really proud of something. I posted it on this congregation page, and all these people that had barbecued way longer than me were just dogging me hard. I mean, like, "You're not a good person. You're terrible. What are you doing?" Like, it really hurt. And then of course throwing fat jokes and stuff like that, which I'm okay with, whatever. I don't care. But I was really wanting to I was like, "This is a mistake. I don't want to do this." And my wife looks at me and she goes like,
"Oh man,
you really need to," and she reels me back in really quick, which is, I'm very thankful for her. She's like, "Delete the video. Don't stop. Let's think of something where anybody can learn how to do this."
Was that first 7,000 one, or was it the?
It was right before I posted on that. It was Facebook page is where it all started.
Okay.
And I posted on the Facebook page, and they just roasted the heck out of me. And not even slow roast. They burned me alive. Like.
But what's crazy about people like that though? Like the people that feel the need to comment something negative. is at one point in time, even if they're the best, right? Let's say the best griller, the best the best with their seasoning, they're the best chefs, whatever it is. At one point in time, they really sucked. At one point in time, they had to make that next phase to that next phase to that next phase. So it's got to say something about that person that, because that's not a reflection of you.
Yeah.
That's a reflection of them. If I say something bad about you, that's a reflection of me.
Yeah.
Because nobody's successful, truly successful,
yeah,
really just craps on the person that,
absolutely
is in their grind. So, yeah, no, I think that's so. Okay. So the wifey tells you to take it down and post the next one.
Yep. So we end up posting it. I really wanted to pull the trigger on TikTok and actually start something. Cause I saw a bunch of stuff in live creators doing stuff. I'm like, this has got to be the coolest thing ever, and I didn't expect it. Nobody expects yourselves to grow that big, right?
Yeah.
Mine was simply, I started this as a Facebook page to help people come into a judgment-free environment to cook. I never expected to grow into the program that it was today. And the best advice I would offer any new content creators is real simple. The comments are just comments. It doesn't define who you are. Post that second video. Post that third one. Even if you think it is hilarious and everybody else thinks it's dumb, post it, Because sometimes some of those ones that you think, oh, it's going to be dumb, sometimes they're diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
I posted one it was a couple weeks ago, and it was just it was a ADHD one. It wasn't even barbecue related. Only way it was barbecue related was
I think I saw this.
And I posted it, and it was like after 3 weeks, it was at 40,000 views. Right. Yeah. I woke up the next morning to 1.9 million views. I'm like, what?
I watched it like 5 times because I have ADHD, and I forgot that I watched it the first 4.
Exactly. So we were all missing the trash can.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it's one of those things where it's crazy with TikTok. Like, you could post something and you think, this is trash, right? That's another thing. Don't delete your videos. If it's not engaging enough, right? I've posted a video where after the first hour you have 200 views, which for me, that was low for me. Sometimes that's huge for other people, but it had 200 views. I'm like, okay. I've deleted those videos before, but keep them up because sometimes those are the diamond in the rough. Yeah. And it really works out, and I'm very, very fortunate for that because some of those videos that were not so popular end up being some of the heaviest hitters on my channel. And it works out.
And if anybody's watching and you're kind of at that phase where you're getting in your head about this, by the way, we're also live. If you guys are creating content and you feel like nobody cares about your work, think about that. 200 people, right? Put 200 people in this yard right now.
Oh, yeah.
Put 200 people in a room, right? That whole perspective changes a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
But
we got Cowphobia 86 on here.
Hey! What up, brother?
Yeah. And so, and that's something that has really helped me, honestly, is forget the noise. Don't listen to the noise. Just do what you think is best. Do what you think is going to be fun, quirky, and legal, of course.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Nah, but okay. So you are starting to do these collaborations now.
Yeah.
Let's kind of pivot gears here. By the way, guys, if you're watching, we're doing an Ask Me Anything. We're doing a podcast live right now that is going to be published in the next couple weeks. I want you guys to go ahead and I want you to throw any questions that you guys have for the man, the myth, the legend, Walter, Michigan Barbecue Addicts. Go ahead and drop a question that you want answered, that you need help with, whether if it's in just barbecue or content creation. Go ahead and drop a question while you guys are watching. We want to be able to answer your questions directly and give you guys value. So you're doing these collaborations.
Yep.
Right? What are some of the problems that you had with the collaborations in general?
Honestly, some of the biggest issues with collaborations, it's the timing, right?
Yeah.
We have a big issue right now. Like, one big collaboration that we've been trying to work with big time is collaboration between Adventures in Ardia and Michigan Barbecue Addicts. So roll for sandwich and roll for barbecue.
Yeah.
And we're working on it, right? It's just the biggest issue with collaborations is stuff happens, you know. Adventures in Ardia, he's got a busy life. I mean, he just had a baby, you know, and I believe his wife's a teacher, and so it's hard, right? And getting people together. I mean, yeah, we're both in Michigan, but a couple hours of driving.
Yeah, it's a whole state.
Yeah. It's a whole state, yeah. And
I think it's what Grand Rapids,
I think like Grand Rapids area.
Yeah,
I think.
So you're looking at like 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
So like 5 hours total.
Right.
Yeah.
Like for example, cow phobia. I mean, he's a little over a couple hours away, and yeah, I told him, I was like, yeah, come stay local. I mean, now I mean he stayed at a hotel when he came for our collaboration. He stayed with us for a whole weekend, which is really awesome. And we ended up, he came over in the morning. We cooked all day. Heck, we were playing Mario Kart in the living room when we got done cooking that day, and it was a ton of fun. We enjoyed it, and it's just the timing, you know. I mean, so this is official. I'll say it this way: the collaboration with Adventures in Ardia and Michigan Barbecue Addicts is happening. Just got to be patient. It's just like fishing.
You guys should get like a life size. What's the dice and the the dice in the skull?
Oh, the dice tower.
Dice tower.
Yeah.
You guys should get a life size dice tower and roll these giant dice through it, just to officialize it.
I do have a giant D20, which is a 20-sided dice. It's inflatable. It's probably about like this big.
You got to go to Bear Dunes or something like that. Meet up at Bear Dunes and then just roll it down Bear Dunes. That's the move.
I'll tell you what. I will look at it with binoculars. There's no way I'm walking back up there.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. Well, people get people get escorted out because like they won't be able to make it back up the hill or something like that.
Oh yeah, they charge it's like $5,000 or something like that.
Wow, astronomical. I'll just go down and I'll swim back. Oh my gosh.
What is your backup platform? There's multiple backup platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which is now X. YouTube is where it's at, though.
Threads.
Ultimately,
Threads. Don't forget about Threads.
The Threads. Yeah, Threads. That's new. I started it, but I have not started posting on it yet. But yeah, there's a lot of backup platforms.
Speaking of posting, how many of you guys would subscribe to Walter, to Michigan Barbecue Addicts, if he had a YouTube and he was creating long form content? If he was doing all of his barbecues in long form, showing you guys recipes, comment below if you guys would subscribe to that. But I mean, that would be sick.
That would be sick.
You got a whole studio here.
I do.
No joke. Straight up, a whole studio. So, okay, collaboration. Hardest part is coordination, especially as you get older. There's more things going on.
Yeah.
You got family, stuff like that. What would you recommend to creators to make sure that they continue to keep things fresh, right? Because I find a lot of times creators come into a series of burnout.
Yeah.
Right? Because you may or may not be doing the same thing over and over again. What have you found within your process that helps you avoid burnout and keep things fresh and keep things exciting?
So I will say this, I am the first person to ever tell you, especially at work, if you have PTO, use it, right? Your mental health, your physical health. I mean, I'm not the peak of physical health, but your mental health is absolutely huge. Take your time off, right? I work 40 plus hours a week, and I get 2 days off. During those 2 days, it's dedicated to filming, right? And I will film multiple videos those days just so I have some stuff in my queue, right? So when I do have those burnout moments, which I went through some heavy burnout like in the past month or so, simply because of between work and you know all the unexpected stuff that happens in life, you know, and having that extra content definitely helps, especially if you've been doing it for as long as I have. They have the cool part about TikTok is they just started releasing on this day in history, right? And it'll show like, oh, you posted this last year. And I'm like, that's a great video to repost. We did it with our French onion soup recipe the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And People were calling me out because I was like, on a cold Michigan day, French onion soup is the best thing to have. And people were like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like
It's like 75 out.
degrees.
Yeah.
And they just look at you. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, but it works out. And I love reposting the stuff because if there's stuff that you really have that's good content and you feel it's good, repost it. I give it some time, of course. You don't want to post French onion soup 45 times in the first year, but like, it's a good time. Like, I've reposted a lot of videos if it's like I'm burnt out and I just need a 9 off and it's like, oh, snap. This works out. I got this video from last year. I'll repost that. And that helps because, you generate a lot of followers. We are about 479,000 followers on TikTok, and there's lots of new people that haven't seen that content.
That's right, because it moves through the feed.
Yes.
Like if you posted it a year ago, you probably got like at least 25 to 50,000, maybe, depending on your growth rate or whatever it is, of people that haven't seen that before.
Absolutely.
I think trends are good for growth, though.
Yeah.
I don't think trends are good for depth.
Yes.
I think I did a podcast with the Wandering Michigander.
Yes.
I'm not too sure if you're familiar with.
He's a good dude.
She. Different.
Who am I thinking
of? It's Taylor Dustin.
Taylor Dustin. Okay.
She's in Grand Rapids too. So she'll basically do bucket list places to go in Michigan.
I think I'm mixing up the Michigander versus the Wandering Michigander.
100%.
Yeah, the
110%. Different person.
Guy with his 2 kids. Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about trends versus like other types of content. And it's funny because she'll still post content that doesn't perform well.
Yeah.
Because there's that extra layer of depth of like, these people that are here that like enjoy my brand and enjoy the things that I'm doing, they're able to go an extra layer deeper with like who I am and like my personality and stuff like that. So, and it's kind of like your ADHD video.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, it's not even barbecue related. But like people can relate to you because now they feel like they know an extra layer of you.
Yeah.
That, you have fun, you love the barbecue, and like, you have the same problems as maybe somebody. Actually, I find that people resonate a lot when they realize that you have similar problems versus having a glorified brand that's like, untouchable, unreachable. Oh, I'll never be kind of like this person. But to see that you're relatable in that sense, I think that helps your audience go deeper. That being said, you got to get on YouTube.
I know. I need to.
Listen, I need to see more of Walter than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Than 45 seconds. Because honestly, when I was pulling up here and we're doing these videos, right, where you're preparing stuff, like you have all the content. You're talking, like you literally talked for, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes about like preparation of stuff like that. Like TikTok isn't a platform for that.
Right.
Is it?
They do the 10-minute videos, but it doesn't make sense for people. TikTok is great for the attention span of people, right? Yeah. Usually they say on YouTube you have 5 seconds to reel somebody in, right?
On TikTok or YouTube?
On YouTube. So whereas TikTok, you have half of that. You have 2.5 seconds to get their attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why you'll see like, hey, stop scrolling and check this out. You'll see those on TikTok all the time. And of course, me, I'm like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do. Swipe, sucker.
Psych.
That was funny. When it comes to TikTok versus YouTube, what I realize is TikTok is if you were to give me like a quick shot or like a quick drink of something.
Yeah.
And then YouTube is like you're going to sit down and you're going to eat barbecue with me.
Yeah.
See how it's like it's different as far as like, okay, I'm choosing to dedicate, and that's why, I believe in podcasting. I'm choosing to dedicate 30 minutes, an hour to sit down with you when I can't.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so like you're sitting at the dinner table with that person.
Yeah.
110%. But needless to say, I need more Walter. I think all the people need more Walter, right? How How you been to Canada? Have you been to Canada?
I have been to Canada.
What is the barbecue like in Canada?
Non-existent.
Non-existent.
It's
Step it up.
Some of my favorite Canadians, though, are some really good cooks out there, like a Matty Matheson. If you ever get a chance to watch him, he is this tattooed, crazy fun dad. Like, this guy, I mean, you watch him and they're like, what did he just say?
Yeah.
Matty Matheson is a super cool one that I love to watch.
Okay.
He's very real about his long form content is amazing, and I enjoy it.
Who would you say are the top 5 barbecue influencers that people should follow?
Absolutely. So I will tell you the top 5. I was starting with the one that I started with was How to Barbecue Right. HowToBarbecueRight.com. That's with Malcolm Reed and his team. Next, I would go with the Heath Riles barbecue team. Very fun guy to work with. Then we got Matt Pittman from Meat Church Barbecue. That's our third one. Our fourth one, I would say, he's very entertaining. Stale Cracker.
Stale Cracker.
Stale Cracker. He is this crazy Cajun from Louisiana, and he doesn't necessarily do a lot of barbecue. I mean, he does barbecue sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's that southern, like the pastalaya, jambalaya, the dirty rice, the gumbo, the seafood boils. Like that's some fun content to work with. And he comes out with this thing. It's called the Cajun Two-Step. It's a all-purpose seasoning, and it's this guy right here. That's Stale Cracker, right? This guy is one crazy Cajun. But
see this. He looks like a crazy Cajun.
He's a fun dude, though.
He looks like a crazy Cajun. What is this? Is this like a dry rub?
Yep, it's a dry.
What do you use this for?
I use that. It's like a all-purpose Cajun seasoning, and you can actually get that one at Walmart or you can go check out Cajun Two-Step online.
Are you using this for fish?
I do use it for fish. I've used it for seafood. I've used it for chicken. One of my favorite recipes I got, especially for like cold season, is this Cajun turkey noodle soup. Like, it is insanely good. Like, it's creamy. It is garlicky. It hits you right in the soul. Like, and you're feeling sick and you're dying on the couch and you're like, I don't want to live. You're just like, a bowl of this is just, it gives you life. Like we had some family members that had COVID and we ended up, I'll make it in large batches because I grew up in a big family. So you don't learn to just cook for 2 people. You're cooking for...
Yeah, big batches, big family. Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up giving them a gallon, then my mother-in-law and her family a gallon. And I brought a gallon to work, and they're like, wow, this is really good. And it's like, it's just fun to do. I love to cook. I want people to know that I'm not just this big shot barbecue guy online. I am so far from a big shot barbecue guy. I'm just a guy that enjoys cooking and sharing it with people. I'm an average Joe. I still work a 40-hour work week, 40 plus hours, whatever.
Yeah, plus hours because you're literally saving lives.
Yeah.
On top of that, saving lives, feeding lives.
Yeah, we're feeding everybody. But ultimately, I mean, the biggest thing here is that perfect balance, right? I want people to see that I am a real person, right? And that's why I kind of like jumped into like throwing in like the ADHD/autism content because fun fact with people about me, I am autistic. I don't see it as a crutch.
What does that mean? I feel like I don't really know what that means then.
I don't know. I was diagnosed with it. I usually use it my autism for comedic purposes. I usually say like somebody's like, "Oh, you're autistic?" I was like, "Yeah, I got my papers. I'm a pedigree," and so I want people to see that. Yeah, I mean, guys like me can do stuff like this. I mean, now every case of autism, ADHD is different, but I've found a way to work with it, right? Granted, there's some days I'm like, am I autistic? Or I know I'm ADHD for sure, but
yeah, I find that as you get older. Okay, let's break this down. Right now, with all the seasonings that you have, if you're about to die tomorrow, right? Period.
Okay.
You have to pick one seasoning to create the last meal with, what would it be?
It's got to be the AP rub. Killer Hogs AP
Where is
rub.
this? Where is this?
It's going to be this one right here. So the AP rub, it's an all-purpose rub. It's amazing. Like, this stuff, I use this one a lot. Like, it's good for, like, eggs. It's good for chicken.
Here,
yeah. Yep. And you guys are going home with a bottle of it today, for sure.
I'm going home with a bottle of it?
Absolutely.
Turn up.
And so this stuff, it's great. I mean, and the nice part about it, there's not it's salt, dehydrated garlic with other spices. It's salt, pepper, garlic. It's SPG, basically.
Wow.
What you'll hear in the barbecue community, SPG is salt, pepper, garlic. And it works for darn near everything.
So this is the last one. This is the one that meets the Last Supper here. AP seasoning.
It's between that and the apple one from Heath Riles for sure.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's like a good garlic smell.
Mm-hmm. That's a funny thing. When I first met my wife, and I got to say it, so she never had garlic salt when I first met her. And so, I know, right? That's what I was like. We were making corn one day. It was actually the sausage day that we made the smoked sausage. And we had corn, and I was like putting garlic salt and butter on. And she's like, "What are you putting on that?" Garlic salt? And she's like,
What's that about?
And yeah, she's like, "Why?" And I was like, I'm like, whatever. You've never had garlic salt? And she just got quiet. I'm like, "You've never had garlic salt?"
Wow.
She enjoyed it so much at our wedding, she asked for a bowl of it next to the green beans because she thought they were under-seasoned.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, that's my
That's
girl.
a flex. Yeah, that's a flex. She's borderline about to go into the kitchen to change it up. What do we got here?
Smoked catfish. Yes, I love smoked catfish.
Smoked catfish?
Oh, you can smoke a lot of things.
Here's the thing. I've heard polarizing opinions about catfish.
Yeah.
That, it's like a bottom dweller.
Yep.
Right? So why would you do it?
I mean, it's like shrimp, lobster, crab. They're bottom dwellers too, and some of the greatest
That's a good
bits of
point.
seafood. Like crawfish, that's another one that does it. It's with catfish. The thing that people screw up with catfish because I personally, my belief, okay, they don't season it right. Right? Like I went to, like, for example, calling out Texas Roadhouse. But
Texas Roadhouse.
I went to Texas Roadhouse and I was like, "Oh, fried catfish, that sounds great," right? And it was not seasoned. And I'm like, how do I enjoy this?
Grab the AP seasoning.
I have accidentally brought AP seasoning with me.
Wait, would you use it? Would you use the Cajun for the catfish?
Oh, yeah. I've used Cajun two-step. They also have Killer Hogs King Craw seasoning there, too. That's another one.
That?
It is
This
the purple one, yeah.
Malcolm's.
Yep, the King Craw.
Malcolm's King Craw.
We used that on our last boil video. We did a boiled shrimp and crab. It was so good.
Wow. This smells so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So catfish needs to be seasoned well.
Yeah.
You'd use the Malcolm's King Craw.
Yep.
Okay.
King Craw, and you season your flour. I think the biggest issue I had with Texas Roadhouse is they didn't season their flour. And I asked the waitress, I mean, I'm not gonna dog a business, right? Because I will eat the hell out of those rolls. Let's go there. I'm not completely writing them off, but no, it's a issue with people that struggle with catfish is they don't season it right and they don't season their flour. Season your flour, season your fish, and you're gonna have great catfish every time.
Speaking of seasonings, guys, tag someone in the comments section. We're about to get really opinionated. What kind of question? Let's
see what we got.
We have here.
Maybe you should make them a meat smoothie. Sapphire? No. Bad.
What's a meat smoothie?
We had a Roll for Barbecue episode where
Oh no.
It was our Halloween series. We did Mayhem. Mayhem is a demon in the Dungeons and Dragons world that ruins things that has an opportunity to ruin your meal. I don't make the rules. I don't know anything about D&D much, but he's a character for Halloween.
Yeah.
We called him Mayhem because he causes mayhem. But we were making chicken wings, and one of the categories was blend with apple cider.
No.
So I blended chicken wings with apple cider and Worcestershire sauce, and
No. Did you have to drink it?
I drank it.
You drank it? You drank it online? You drank it live?
Oh, there's a video out there.
Oh,
There's a video.
yikes.
And
Did you throw up? What happened?
oh, without question.
You threw up?
Without question.
Do you have video of it?
I do not. I'm not going to do that to you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. What's a roll you really want to land on? A roll for barbecue, but haven't gotten yet. You know what? Open fire cooking. I love doing that. And I think the one that I would really, really love to land on is alligator. I really want to smoke an alligator.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Florida and do it.
I've got some resources in order to get a
Order some.
6 to 8 foot gator into Michigan. You just ship it frozen, and then, oh yeah,
You ship the whole the whole alligator or just
yeah.
the tail?
Oh, it's a whole alligator, head and everything.
How do you prepare alligator?
Well, I learned from Stale Cracker. Biggest thing you got to go with is the tail meat, right? There's this gland that you got to get rid of on. It's weird. The spinal cord or the vertebrae, they're all X-shaped, right? And each vertebrae has a gland. It runs all the way down the tail, right? If you don't remove that, that's going to taste gamey and fishy.
Really?
So they literally have to crack open the tail, pull out the gland, and usually it's an opportunity for you to stuff it with like crawfish, boudin, or anything fun in there. Really? And I would
Is there a lot of meat on it?
A lot in the tail meat. Yeah,
Really?
I think the biggest thing that people eat is the tail meat. I've seen people eat the ribs off of alligator. It's just there's a lot you can eat off. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things you can eat off a gator. Jowl meat, which is like right here.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
That's like your gooseneck.
Gooseneck.
That's the gooseneck that she loves. No, but okay, so you're essentially eating a lizard.
Yeah.
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 So it tastes like fishy?
Well,
it's a fishy lizard.
Yeah, I mean, gators will eat anything.
Yeah, they'll eat anything.
Like, when we were in Louisiana, we did a swamp tour because I always wanted to see a gator in the wild. And we had this guy, his name was Captain Danny, right? Not Captain, Captain. And he was getting all these, throwing marshmallows out there into the water and feeding alligators marshmallows. And then we see these raccoons, he's feeding them marshmallows. My wife raised her hand today. She said, "You got any questions?" Super, super thick Cajun accent, right?
Can you do it? Can you do that?
I could attempt it. I could definitely attempt it.
Come on, let's hear it.
But he was like my wife's like, "Hey, Captain Danny, why do the gators eat marshmallows?" And he's like, "Well, little lady, all the little critters like marshmallows." Then I'm like, "All right, that makes sense."
That's that.
All the critters like marshmallows.
That's the diet. Marshmallows and sometimes water.
Yes, marshmallows and yeah, sometimes human. But,
okay. Let's get real controversial here for a second. Okay. I have TikTok's favorite seasoning. Guys, can you guess what the favorite seasoning is for TikTok? We're going to put it up against some of the best. But here we have in front of us the famous Dano's seasoning. Okay? If you were to put Dano's up against any one of these seasonings that we have. Okay, let's put Dano's up against Killer Hogs. What are we going with?
Honestly, I mean, Dano's, they just released a Primo seasoning, which is pretty good. But I tell everybody, every seasoning is unique in their own way, shape, or form, depending on the recipe. I definitely don't dog anybody else's seasoning, but just on personal preference, a non-controversial personal preference, I like my AP a little more. AP seasoning simply because there is a salt form in there, right? Whereas Dano's is low sodium, and salt is ultimately, I gotta keep tiptoeing my words here. The salt is what brings the flavor. Salt, pepper, that type of stuff.
It's a magnifying glass, right?
So I see Dano's personally. It's like garlic powder, onion powder type of thing. It's not a primary seasoning. It is a additive seasoning. Or you don't necessarily need garlic powder or onion powder on a recipe, right? but you add it on there because you like it.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I look at garlic salt and I go, garlic salt. It's got the garlic. It's got the salt. I don't need the powder. I don't know what the powder even would do.
Oh, my wife doesn't like the powder. But yeah, so I mean, I see Dano's. I think that Dano's is a great additive seasoning to another primary seasoning. I've noticed that because we've rolled Dano's and roll for barbecue.
Do people like it?
I mean, there's people that do like it, you know. The Primo seasoning's really good. It's a good steak rub. I enjoy it. I think it's really nice. Like I've had Dano's with, I did it with Meat Church seasonings. I've done it with Killer Hog seasonings.
Do we have Meat Church here?
Meat Church is in the house.
No, we don't have.
I actually have, I think, like 3 bottles in my car, actually.
We got Blue Hogs over here.
Yeah, Blues Hog is
Blues
another
Hogs,
fun. We did a partnership with them at the beginning of 2022. 23. So, long story short, I lost my job back in October of 23. And I started a series called Roll for Barbecue, right?
So only a year ago.
It was only a year ago. And I started the Roll for Barbecue right after that happened.
Get out of here.
And the best way I described it, I was on Talking Shop podcast. They're good buddies of mine. And I told them about it, and they're like, you weren't fired. You were promoted to a full-time pitmaster. I'm like, okay.
100%.
I like that. And so we started a series where you roll the dice, and it determines how you make your barbecue. So Adventures in Ardea, we talked about. He created the Roll for Sandwich series. And there was a bunch of other spinoffs, such as like Roll for Pizza, Roll for Taco, Roll for Hot Sauce, Roll for Latte. Those are just like some of my favorites. There's some good ones out there. And I was like, I've never seen the barbecue one. So I did Roll for Barbecue. I did episode 1. People started dogging me because they're like, hey, you're copying. And I still get it to this day. And someone said, you should make it a little more original. And I'm like, okay. And I'll take advice from people, especially with Roll for Barbecue.
Yeah.
Second episode did really well. We got over 1 million views because people were like, I like how this went, right? And we ended up going through that and trying different things. People suggest, hey, you should add this to your Wild Magic list or this to your sauce roll or add this, add that. We've tried amazing things, stuff that I've recreated, like the twice-baked potato burn end, which was amazing.
That sounds crazy.
It was a twice-baked potato with, like, barbecue burn ends on it, drizzled with Elijah's hot sauce. Oh.
Do they look like the little pig belly thing?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
And then you're biting into this thing, and you're getting all those... Oh, man, it was an 11 out of 10. Hands down.
11 out of 10.
And then you get the ones like the chicken smoothie or the salsa ketchup Nutella chicken wings or... what was another one? We did one...
Do you ever fake it? Do you ever pretend like you ate it?
No, that's the thing is I was raised in a household, obviously, you eat everything that you're given. So if it's not good, you're just going to wipe away tears as you're eating.
Just bear it.
There's only 2 times I didn't finish it all the way, and it was that chicken smoothie I made and the...
You finished all of it?
I finished, well, I'll say it. It was wasted because I did puke it up. But... I drank it.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
And it didn't taste like fall at all.
That's
it did not taste like fall.
You know what's funny that you mentioned about people saying that it's a copy?
Yeah.
There's this book called Hitmakers. In the book, there is a section where they talk about what it really means to make something that's going to be trending or like a hit. One of those things, if you notice, like, okay, we're in Michigan, right? Ford, big company, right? If you notice, Ford will release the same vehicle in a different color.
Yep.
And here's the formula for it. It is people like things that are similar but different.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see the same model car that comes out in different colors.
Yeah.
And it'll have the same amount of sales, if not an uptick.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you're talking about Roll for Barbecue, it's similar, but it's different.
Yep.
And people like that because they like something that they can relate it to, but they also like some sort of forward motion and progression.
Absolutely.
So that explains, I mean, that's literally verbatim what you proved.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
And Roll for Barbecue has been absolutely successful. I mean, just Roll for Barbecue on its own has generated over 85 million views over the last year and some change.
What does that look like when you convert that into revenue?
So I will say this, monetization is really cool. Honestly, the lowest, I mean, we are monetized on Instagram and TikTok. From what I understand from other creators, it's TikTok is not where the money's at.
Yeah.
Right. How it used to be, the creator fund was interesting. It was like, the best way to describe it is like you have $100, right? And any content creator is eligible for that $100, right? But if I want that $100, I'm also working with 1,000 Hours Podcast is also monetized, and he has access to that $100. And Emily has access to that $100, and Megan has access to that $100.
Yeah.
But it's just that $100. So you're all
so the funds, it's like stock. It's like diluted stock.
Yes.
Right? So the more shares you add, it dilutes the value of it.
Yeah. So now they I think they got rid of the creator fund. Now they do something called the beta fund, which is it is certain videos qualify for monetization. Right? So it would, like, for example, my Roll for Barbecue videos typically will generate a form of monetization, right? Is it enough to the spread dollar bills? No, it's not. Yeah. But it's definitely enough to be like, okay, cool. That's income I didn't have before, Instagram is still working through that. I guess where the money's at is in YouTube. Yeah. YouTube is where all the money's at, is from what I...
Is your channel on now? Is your channel live?
Yeah, my channel. Not on YouTube right now.
Oh, wait, where can they find it?
So if you guys go to the link in my bio, check out our YouTube channel. It's going to be in the link in the bio. You can go to MichiganBarbecueAddicts.com. You'll also find a link there how to get to the YouTube channel as well.
Guys, subscribe and let Walter know what kind of content that you want to see him posting on his YouTube. Post what kind of content. Help him. Give him ideas. Tell him exactly what you want to see and how you want to see it. Give him ideas. Help him serve you as best as possible as fellow barbecue addicts. What do we got here?
Oh, we got Mrs. Barbecue on.
Hey.
She's watching us.
What kind of question do we have? Comments here?
Someone told me I should add crushed extra toasty Cheez-Its added to my Wild Magic list.
Should they?
That's interesting. I've never heard that, but I'll add that. Yeah. So people will add that type of stuff. Like, I've gotten different suggestions, like, hey, you should try this on Wild Magic or this.
Oh, so your community tells you how to make the list.
Well, in some ways, like, we've done lives where it's like, okay, guys, if we get this amount as a tip, then you get to pick what that Wild Magic is. Now, granted, you get the dummies that are like, we'll put bleach on there. Like,
what percentage of revenue does what percentage of revenue does TikTok take from tips?
I know they take a good amount. They transfer into jewels or something like that, or diamonds.
You know what? The largest organizations that I've ever seen, they convert your dollar into something else.
Yeah,
I did that with like Tomorrow World. They would, which is a festival. They would convert your dollar into pearls, and let me just tell you, you'd have tons of pearls for very low amounts of money, but then you would also have to pay double the amount of pearls. Like, exactly. It was a whole conversion thing.
So it's ultimately they convert it into diamonds, and then it then converts into something else. So, but it's fun. We enjoy it. We definitely want to start going live a lot more. It's nice to engage with people. Like we did a live where we actually built Big Blue back here. And
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We did that in about 2 hours and built it from scratch.
2 hour live. What are we making over here?
We're making a brisket. We got this beautiful choice cut brisket. Oh, it looks good.
Hear me out. Do you ever see yourself having your own line of meat cuts sold online?
I would think that would be really cool. I want to look into a seasoning, but of course, I mean...
Seasonings will probably be easier to manufacture.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, I would want Michigan Barbecue Addicts top 5 cuts.
I would love that, too.
Like a package, almost like a... Guys, would you like that? Would you like a box of like the premium selected
I like
from
that.
Michigan Barbecue Addicts.
This
Oh
is
my
the
gosh,
one I
what if
like,
they
this one,
what if
this
they
one.
did what if we did a poll? What if we did a poll of the top 5 meats that people would want, or just to kind of give an idea?
That would be nice.
Dude, that'd be sick.
I guarantee it'd be brisket. It would be tomahawk. It would be steak.
Tomahawk, because people like the bone.
Everybody likes the bone.
Everybody likes the bone. But anyway. Okay. Going back to Dano here, right? Dano's, give it 1 out of 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, I give it a solid 7.5.
Solid 7.5. I like that. That's not a rookie number. What bite? Everybody knows the rules.
I never give anything. Well, I'll say it this way: as far as seasonings go, I never give a seasoning a 10 out of 10 because every seasoning has an opportunity to be better.
Yeah, because then you're perfect, right? You
Yeah.
got nowhere to go from there. Okay. So we've talked about collaborations. We've talked about our meat selections. We've talked about. Let's talk about some of other. Who are the current sponsors that you have that you've worked with?
So
far?
we work with Char Griller Grills. We work with the Caveman Style Knives. We work with the Killer Hogs, which is how to barbecue right, and we're also sponsored by Yeti Coolers. So we do a lot of work with those main 4. We've done collaborations with Dude Wipes. We've done stuff with
Dude Wipes.
Dude Wipes. It was funny. We did a fall one. They sent us some Dumpkin Spice wipes,
Okay.
which are. Somebody made a joke about it as a trend online. It was pumpkin spice dude wipes, and they're like, "All right, let's go for it." So we got some pumpkin spice wipes, and they took good care of us. We have more pumpkin spice wipes and regular dude wipes in our house that we would survive a lifetime.
Nice.
They just gave us so much. They're very generous.
Stay clean vibes.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I mean, usually dude wipes I use them for my hands. They're really good for like cleaning your hands. If you're like. I'll take them with us camping simply because they're great to wash your hands. Like if you're in a pinch and you don't have water right there, like I'll use them just to, I got barbecue sauce in my hand, I'll just wipe it up.
Before they invented dude wipes, I never even really thought about not wiping, but like I never, you know what I'm saying? Well, like I would think about like, oh, go wash your hands. Right. But like, they're like baby wipes, but for dudes.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, what about girls? And then it's like, that's what we did a commercial for them. We did one, we were camping and they're like, hey, what about the ladies? I got you, dude. Throw it over there. And it worked out. It was pretty funny.
Yes. We got Yeti in the background today, sponsored for, not sponsored in today's video, but we got Yeti here that was, key asset in the making of the brisket.
Absolutely.
Which was really sexy to eat. Honestly, it was so good. You are a master at your craft. Tell me tell me a little bit about, so you have Char Griller.
Yep.
You have Yeti.
Oh, the owner of Dano's is on.
The owner of Dano's is on right now.
Dano's, what's going on?
Let's see the Dano's. Listen, we just did a rating of Dano's. You're going to have to watch the podcast to find out what we gave it. But anyway, if you were to think of a meat to use for Dano's specifically, how would you, if you were to concoct the perfect barbecue, what would you use Dano's for?
That Primo's pretty good. And it's hard to describe. Like I use it like if I'm doing like barbecue steaks, I think it's really good on there. It's a hard part, especially with seasoning, because people will ask like, "Hey, what's the best one out there?" And it's like every seasoning is so unique in their own way, and they're good for certain recipes. And like,
when you say the Primo, I'm a noob. What do you mean by Primo?
So they have like the different ones. You got the Dano's OG, you got the Chipotle, you got the spicy Dano's. It's Dano's Primo, which is one of the newer rubs. They have the cheesening. They have a new seafood one too.
What kind of meat would you use it with?
Definitely beef. I'd probably steak.
Beef.
Yeah, Primo is really good on steak.
On steak. Okay. So, okay, that being said, let's pivot back to where we are here. We're getting ADHD because that is, it's one of the top performing videos, and it's showing its light. It's really showing its light.
Right, yeah, it's definitely. You're seeing ADHD live on TikTok. It's amazing.
100%. Like, hold on a sec. We're talking about all these sponsors. You did an ad for the Super Bowl, didn't you?
Oh, yes, we did. We definitely did an ad for the Super Bowl. We did a collaboration with Frito-Lay. So we did we made these touchdown tots, which are like this. It's like a beef and cheese stuffed tater tot.
Emily would go insane for that.
Oh, they were so yummy. They were hard to make, but I tell you what, it was worth it in the end because I ate one of these things. I'm like, man, I think Fluffy says it better. It's like, damn, it was good. It was great.
Do you? I see. Personally, I think the tater tot is an inferior tater compared to.
It is the top tier tater.
It is. Oh man, I enjoy. So okay, if I had to rate them, right? First off, I'm going waffle.
Okay, okay.
I'm going wedge.
Okay.
I'm going. I would even dare to say I'm going sweet potato fry.
Okay, I like sweet potato fries.
I will go regular fry. I'll go curly Q's, and then I will go tater tots.
Okay, I was gonna say if you were gonna say crinkle cut, I was gonna walk, but
wait, what are crinkle cut? The ribbon ones.
The ribbon ones, the ones you see at like Culver's.
No. That's for the.
I was like, you're gonna make me cry.
That's for the boys. We're eating like men over here.
I like that. That's the top tier tater.
Yeah. No, but So anyway, okay. So you did this collaboration with Frito-Lay's.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that experience. What did the brand relationship look like? What did the overall process look like? Because you came from such a very far space within this last year, right? To now, like, what did that look like?
So, there's a lot of programs that you'll find out there where they have where content creators can link up their social media accounts to like a different. They'll find companies that upload their like a collaboration attempt into a specific software. So, like for example, the one I used was called Popular Pays, and they work with Frito-Lay. I've seen them work with Wendy's. A lot of different big brands that you hear out there, Quaker Oats. I think I saw a Fiber One type, the Smart Pop, anything like, and they'll go through and they say, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is the type of content we're looking at. And Frito-Lay stuck out to me because I was like, one, I know a couple things about it, but it was cool to be able to look at that and say, hey, what type of recipes can we work with? We got creative with our first one. We did 3 collaborations with Frito-Lay this year. Wow. First one was a barbecue brisket that we did for the Super Bowl for 2022, 23, one of them. And then we did another one.
Not too sure.
I can't remember. But, we did one for Coca-Cola last year. Coca-Cola in all recipes. And then we did the touchdown tots, which were really good. So you go in there and they're like, hey, this is what we're looking for. Here's here's what we'll offer you, right? So they'll pay you for doing the content.
Okay.
But they have a whole list of parameters. So it's stuff like you can't use, like you got to follow the recipe that they give you. So if I'm using,
what's the point of that? What's the point of coming to the expert and saying, "Oh, I'm going to tell you exactly how to cook it"?
So, well, I'll say it this way. So there's certain things like Frito-Lay will work with, like for example, allrecipes.com. Or they have like Frito-Lay, they'll actually have recipes.
They're pushing like a recipe.
Yeah, they're pushing their recipe
to the website.
And they just need somebody to cook it. And so they have people that have uploaded their recipes. Like the Touchdown Tots one was some rando out there that decided that, hey, this is the one that I want to publish. And then they say, hey, pick your top 5 favorites and we'll decide which one we want to see you cook.
Oh, interesting.
And so they'll look at it. So if you got like 10 people and they all want to do smoked queso, but nobody wants to do touchdown tots, are like, you know what, we'll get Walter to do that one, and
I'd rather say I would like the Walter recipe,
right?
And I would feature the Walter recipe on the site, and then I would have Walter do the video and push.
I think I just need to start pushing the recipe, and then when they do that again, be like, I want to make that one, that one, the one that Jalter made.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what we need? We need some of these sponsors to step up and do limited edition Walter
Like a Michigan barbecue addicts.
Yeah, do like a rev share. Do either a rev share or like an equity share on something like that.
I like that.
Because then you're driven by merit to like push it.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be doing the dopest stuff, right? Because it's part of something that you're helping build. So
Not a bad idea.
I'm going to put that out there into the atmosphere that rather than doing other people's recipes, people need to be reaching out to Walter and saying, like, if you could concoct the perfect recipe for us to host on our site or for us to push in one of our brands here, I think that's the move.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Another thing that the Wandering Michigander told me was that a lot of brands should be and are converting to having influencers within their brands.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like they'll do like our sponsors, they are like they don't consider it as sponsors but brand ambassadors. So like like I'm a brand ambassador for Char Griller, How to Barbecue Right. Because if it's a sponsorship, you have to have a contract. Yeah. Right. Whereas brand ambassadors, they have expectations. So it would be like just rules and expectations, not necessarily a contract, if you will. So like
just like an agreement of like mutual interest.
Yeah, so like, hey, you get to say be a brand ambassador, but this is the expectation. Like some of the creators that some of the ones I've seen where it's like, hey, you have to post this many videos in a week or this many in a 2-week time frame in order to maintain that title as a brand ambassador. And so that's what you'll find a lot with a lot of the people that you'll work with. I mean, that's what I found. I got like one of our sponsors that we have, they just send me stuff and then they say, hey, post it when you can, right? Which I'm like, okay.
There's like looser limitations on stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, you'll find with a lot of the smaller brands, they have a lot looser limitations, whereas if you have a larger brand, they're going to be like, okay, here's our expectations. And it's not necessarily like, it's not like boss and employee. It's like, hey, it's a partnership. We're working together here, right? I'm promoting their type of product, and I'm getting content out of it. And so it's very mutual, right? And I mean, even prepping for this podcast, I was talking with them about it, and they're like, I trust what you say about our company. And it's like,
to not give you parameters. It's like, it's like the trust of bringing someone, and understanding that they understand your core values.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's huge too, because I think a lot of times influencers or creators, they'll jump on a brand deal and they won't look to see if like core values align with not even just the now, but the future vision of the now.
Oh yeah.
So, because every creator wants to be a point to where they're at. No, you're good. To where they're at a full-time creator.
Oh yeah.
Right. But then once you're there, it's like, okay, now I'm here and I have a ton of restrictions, and that's what we're making this 10,000 hours podcast for.
I love it.
That's what we're doing this for. That being said, I'm going to wrap this up here. I think we're at like, what are we, record time, like 2 hours? Yeah, thank God if people stayed to the end.
I'd love it.
No, it's okay. So, Walter, do me a favor. Look straight into this camera. Tell me what you're promoting right now as far as within your market, within your brand, what people can expect, where people can find you.
Okay.
Right there.
I'm Walter with the Michigan Barbecue Addicts. All D&D TikTok, barbecue TikTok, Barbecue Nation and beyond. What you're seeing here, what I'm promoting, is an average Joe. Got a couple good grills and just wants to teach people how to cook completely judgment-free. What you get out of my content is a completely judgment-free, inclusive area. There's no hate at this barbecue, nothing but good vibes and pats on the back, right? The biggest thing that I want to make sure that you get when you get here is to feel like you're at home, right? You don't have to worry about the world around you, all the crazy stuff that's going on. It's just you, me, some good food, good casual barbecue. Of course, I got to thank the sponsors, right? We have Char Griller Grills, we have the Caveman Style Knives, Killer Hogs Barbecue, and of course, Yeti Grills. They have done a lot to help us out, but not only that, our sponsors take us far, but our followers, they take us even further. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We're growing on YouTube. Check us out there. Big shout out and thank you to 10,000 Hours Podcast for coming out to my barbecue, coming out to my home and hanging out with us today. And of course, if you're ever looking for the nice homey barbecue and just relaxing and, just stepping away from the world, Walt's your man. Let's get it done.
Right on. All right, guys, that is a wrap for the 10,000 Hours Podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment in the comment section below for things that you have questions about in regards to content creation. The 10,000 Hours Podcast is designed for creators, by creators, to help you get your 10,000 hours in. So, that being said, this is the food edition. This is the Michigan Barbecue Addicts edition. Make sure to hit that subscribe and make sure you get your 10,000 hours in. I'm Managerjon. Peace!